guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary, middle, and high school age. If you're not subscribed, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified of all of my future videos. Today we are going to be talking about high school chemistry. So let's get started. Okay guys, first I want to preface this video by letting you know that I do not have experience with any of these chemistry programs that I'm going to be talking about today. The only experience that I have is the research that I have done personally for my family, trying to figure out what we want to do for Emma for next year for chemistry. She is going into her 3rd year of high school level courses. We had a rough year for biology this year. If you've seen any of my videos with homeschool updates and such, I'll leave a link in the description box if you're interested in hearing any of that information that I've chatted about for many months now. So I did a bunch of research about some different homeschool curriculums. I'm going to be starting with probably the most expensive ones and kind of going down that way. I did not research every single chemistry program that I knew about. I do have a list that I'll share at the end of resources and other programs that I knew that I didn't want to look into, but I have them if you are interested. When I first started researching chemistry, I only knew of like Apologia, Berean Builders, and BJU. I didn't know that there were so many different options available. So I'm going to share all of those with you, kind of an overview, pricing, some of the pros and cons, that kind of thing. If you're looking for more support with choosing curriculum, setting up your homeschool year, just general encouragement, group coaching, that kind of stuff, I would love for you to come check out my membership community. I will have a link in the description box. Right now we are going through planning our next year, all of the steps that I take, and we have live streams each week, co-working and Q&A sessions to try and work together to figure out what is best for our individual families. So let's get into all of these chemistry options. Okay, so the first one that I have on here is BJU Press. I have used BJU Press for Emma's Spanish classes for the past 2 years. She will be using Spanish 3 through them. I really like the curriculum. It is video based. There are 180 lessons, so it is kind of a large course, but they do give you 20 months to complete the course. Chemistry, this is quite expensive. It is $350 for the video course itself, but then if you also want to add the physical lab to it, you have to purchase a lab kit extra, and that is about $357, so quite expensive. It is a Logos chemistry kit, and it comes with everything you need to do all of the experiments in the program. Now, you can watch the videos. All of the labs are done on video, so you could certainly manage it so that your student is completing the lab, but not physically completing the lab. And you would just have to do, lab reports as you normally would through a regular lab program where you're writing your objective and your hypothesis and trying to figure out what's going to happen. Or alternatively, I'm sure that there are some labs in this course that will use generally found items in your home, and that is always an option as well. Now, it is a college prep class. It includes all of the math components for chemistry, so you are getting a full course. The 180 lessons, it's a lot. I know that for Spanish, we do double up quite a bit for us to finish in our prescribed time period that we want to do Spanish. We don't want to do chemistry for 20 months. We don't want to do Spanish for 20 months, but it is an option, so you could certainly slow it down if your student needs extra help. So it comes with the video class. It has a textbook and workbook. I think that you can get them online or you can get the physical copies. It does have online grading as well as Excel spreadsheets so that you can do the grading yourself. It has, it works on the point system, so each each lesson has a specific number of points that are given, and then your student does whatever the workbook is or the test or whatever, and they get a percentage of points through that. The labs are on video, which I already mentioned. It is a biblical worldview. It has tests and quizzes, final exams, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're thinking about a traditional college prep class, this would be it. The next one that I'm going to go over is Apologia, and they have two different options. The first is self-paced chemistry, which is an online class. It is $269. It has an all-digital textbook, audiobook, it has video lessons, it includes lab demonstrations, auto-graded tests. There's 1 year of access, and it does not come with a lab kit, but you do need a chemistry glassware set, which they sell for $65. The labs are supposed to be easy to find items in your home or at the store so that you can complete the labs. It is a full college prep lab course, but maybe you're not using as many chemicals as in a traditional chemistry classroom. The other option is the Exploring Creation with Chemistry, and they have a bunch of different sets, and I chose the super set, which is probably the most expensive one, and that is because it comes with the textbook, student notebook, tests and manual. It comes with MP3 audio, which is good because the Apologia textbooks are very, very long, and it can be incredibly dry to read through them on your own. Having the audio to follow along in the book with the audio is very helpful. And it also comes with a thumb drive. Now, if you've seen any of my videos about Apologia biology that we've been doing this year, I did not know about the thumb drive. I knew about the thumb drive, but I didn't think we really needed it until I started the program. And then come November, I ordered the thumb drive. And so we've only been using the thumb drive for the second semester. Things got so much better. Partly because our schedule freed up, partly because I think having that extra video content is very, very helpful. It does come with a schedule. There is no lab kit that you need to purchase. Again, it is the same as the self-paced chemistry, where it's easy to find items at stores and such, or in your home, so you don't need to buy extra like chemicals. You don't have to purchase an extra kit, but they do require you to buy that glassware set. Again, that glassware set is $65, and the cost of the super set is $341. Now, there are different levels. You don't need to get the student workbook with it. All of the questions are in the textbook itself, as well as the answers. I like the student workbook because all of the questions are in there. It has all of the lab forms for you to fill out, data tables, all of that stuff. So I think that that's helpful to have, but you could certainly cut that out and just use a regular notebook to write out all of the answers. That is fine. You don't need to get the MP3 audio, and you don't need to get the thumb drive. If you're doing this in a co-op setting, which I know a lot of people do, we don't have that option around here. There's no co-op doing chemistry around here. That's, it just depends. If you have a good facilitator that understands chemistry well and is teaching the course from the textbook, and it's not the student doing it on their own, it could be a little bit easier that way. Okay, the next is the Sonlight Science Chemistry curriculum, and they do the Berean Builders Chemistry, and it's Discovering Design with Chemistry, the Berean Chemistry package. It's $203. Again, this is a Christian worldview. Apologia is also a Christian worldview. I don't know if I mentioned that. It is a full college prep chemistry with lab. It's $203, and this does include all of the lab components that you need. There will be some things that you still need to get on your own, but this has the majority of the supplies that you need for the labs. It comes with a textbook, a workbook, tests, and the labs, and can be counted as honors if you complete everything and get at least a B. It does have a rubric included for grading, which I know can be a little challenging in the high school levels to figure out how to grade different courses. I think math and science, it's a little bit easier to grade than something like English, but it does have the rubric to give you an idea of how to grade all of the different tests, questions, labs, etc. There are no videos with the course if you purchase it through Sonlight. However, you can purchase video content at Berean Builders. It's $99 for the full course. It is 1 year streaming subscription, and there are 2 videos per module. And then those videos have links to other content like YouTube videos or experiments or short videos, all of that kind of stuff. So that one is not quite as expensive as the first few that I mentioned, but if you do want that video content, it does bring the price up quite a bit. But as far as a lab science goes, I feel like that's a really good option. Again, I don't have any experience with Berean Builders, so I can't give you, oh, the teacher is great. I've heard a lot of great things about all of these programs, and I've heard a lot of challenging things about all of these programs. Everything that I'm mentioning to you today has pros and cons, and it really depends on what you are looking for specifically for your student. Okay, the next one that I have is Thinkwell's Homeschool Chemistry, which is a 37-week online course. It's a 12-month subscription. It's honors college prep, and I believe it might be AP compatible, or there is a section that you can get the extra AP information if you want your student to take the AP chemistry exam. It is a video course. It has illustrated course notes that you can get separately. There are chapter and practice tests, drills, it's auto-graded, but they do recommend that you are concurrently taking pre-calculus with this course because of the honors level. So I am assuming that it is very math heavy. Now, I finished pre-calculus before I took chemistry because of how I set up my high school years. And so I had already completed pre-calculus when I took chemistry. Emma is only going to be in Algebra 2 this year, so I don't think that this would be a good fit for her. It does not include a lab component, but you can purchase specific hands-on labs from Science Interactive, and that gives you the lab component, but this I think is a very math heavy course. The next option that I have is Home Science Tools, and Home Science Tools sells all kinds of different science curriculum and lab kits for different curriculum, but they also offer the Science Unlocked curriculum, which we used for Jack this past year for his middle school science. And what Science Unlocked is, it's boxes. It is a box per month of labs and curriculum and teachers' guides and all kinds of information. And so they do have a high school chemistry option. It is very expensive. It's $500 and it comes with 9 boxes, which are for your entire year of high school chemistry. I do not know exactly how much math is involved in the Home Science Tools curriculum. I have emailed them, I haven't heard back, and I didn't want to wait for an answer to make this video. I love the Science Unlocked kits. They were so good for Jack this past year. It is very project-based, lab-based. Everything that you need is in the box. You do not have to get anything else. That is one thing that I love about Science Unlocked that I complain about for every other science kit that I have purchased over the past 12 years of homeschooling. There have been many science kits that I purchase assuming I'm going to get everything I need, and then what happens is there's a list of other items that I need that are commonly found around your house that I never have, and I don't end up purchasing. So we drop a lot of the lab content from a lot of science programs because I just don't have these random items around my home, and I have never been good about purchasing them in advance of these science curriculums. So I really appreciate that Science Unlocked has everything, every little bit of every little thing that you need to complete the labs. There is a student guide, there is a teacher guide, and you go through, you answer questions. I really love them. It is super expensive, but if the math component is there. I think that that is a really good option, especially if your kids like a lot of hands-on, self-directed learning. I feel like those Science Unlocked kits are really, really good for middle and high school levels. Okay, the next several are a little bit less expensive. The next one I have is Friendly Chemistry. It can be used with more than one student, which is a bonus. It's a little bit confusing on their website to figure out exactly what you need because they sell all of their materials through Amazon. So it's not just a price of what you need. So I added up everything and it looks like if you're just getting the textbooks and workbooks that you need with the program, it's about $130. They do offer an option for video lessons for $100. They also offer an audiobook for $60. And so I don't know if this would be in addition to the teacher manual or in addition to the student workbook, or if you could get one or the other. It did say that there are PowerPoint slides that play while the audiobook is going. So it might kind of be a replacement for the student textbook, but I'm not entirely sure, and I couldn't really find that answer just in my basic research. Obviously, if this is a program that if you're interested in it, you could definitely contact them. They do have a bunch of videos on how to order their curriculum, and if you're confused about what you actually need, they have great customer service that will help you figure out exactly what you need. It does include a lot of games to teach the content, which I thought was really interesting. It does include tests. However, when I was doing my research, I do look at the Kathy Duffy website a lot to find new resources, as well as just to see what her overall idea of the curriculum is, because she's done so much research over the years into so many homeschool programs. She did say that it's better for junior high. This is for junior high or high school, this course is. So she thought that it was better for junior high unless the student will stop with science at high school. So perhaps if they're not going to like a four-year college, maybe they won't need it. I went to a liberal arts college and we did have to take a lab science, and I did take chemistry as my lab science for college credit. So I think that it really just depends on what your student is looking for if you want them to go the college prep route. Because she said that it was better for junior high, I was kind of questioning whether to include this or not, but I've seen so many people that love friendly biology and friendly chemistry in different homeschool groups, so I did want to include it. And then I guess you would just need to decide on your own through looking at samples and knowing your own student as to whether or not this would be a good fit for you or not. Okay, the next option that I have is Life of Fred Chemistry. Now, Life of Fred is a literature-based math program. They have books, I think it starts with apples for early elementary school and goes all the way through, I think it goes through college math. I'm not entirely sure. We have the advanced algebra book. I really like that. I did actually check out a lot of the elementary books when Emma and Jack were really little because I thought they were fun, story-based, math, interesting. Anything to make math a little more interesting for my kids is a bonus in my book. So it is literature-based. I love that because we're literature-based homeschoolers. That kind of connects with me. It's all of the math components to chemistry, but there are no labs in this book. Now, I was looking on Rainbow Resource, and Rainbow Resource, it's a homeschool, if you don't know, is a homeschool supplies company where you can purchase curriculum and different resources. And they recommended that if you want to have the lab, you can get the MicroChem Kit from Home Science Tools, and that is $180 and includes 17 experiments, and that would make it a lab course for like a college prep lab course. I like the idea of the literature-based learning, not textbook-based learning for chemistry. I think it's more relatable and just practical, understanding the connections between chemistry and real life. I really like that Life of Fred does that for math. It makes it very practical, which I think is really important, especially as you get into the upper level maths when you're trying to convince your kid that it's important to know sine and cosine. It's very inexpensive. It's only $39 and it's all in one book and the answers are in the book. You don't have a separate book for questions and stuff. You just write the answers in a notebook. And again, if you add the MicroChem kit from Home Science Tools, then it is a full college prep chemistry class with lab. And so that one is still kind of expensive, but not nearly as bad as some of the other courses. And perhaps you could find a different chemistry lab kit for less expensive on Home Science Tools. I haven't really looked at all of the different options that they have. Obviously, some of them are connected to specific curriculum, whereas the MicroChem kit is not. So you kind of just do those experiments on your own as you are moving through Life of Fred, and it does give you the lab component, but it's not connected to the text itself. The next option that I have is Guest Hollow High School Chemistry in the Kitchen. This is also another very inexpensive option for the lesson plans themselves. It's $39 for the lesson plans, but then there is a large list of books that you need in order to complete this curriculum. They do rank the books 1 through 4, and it tells you, yes, you definitely need this book, level 1. Level 4 would be, you don't need it, but it's extra content, which would be good. And this is a math-free lab course. So it does cover all of the lab components of chemistry through kitchen chemistry, but it does not include any math at all. So if you want to do a normal college prep chemistry class, you would need to add in a math component. So perhaps something like Life of Fred with the kitchen chemistry from Guest Hollow would make a full chemistry curriculum. However, it would be very literature heavy. Now, a lot of the books that are part of this Guest Hollow High School Chemistry course were part of the Science J, or the History of Science Level J that we did from Sonlight. It was last year that we did that, and we loved all of those books. So we already have a lot of those books, but I wouldn't necessarily want to reread a lot of those books. They were very interesting. I love the History of Science level from Sonlight. If you have the opportunity to do that with your upper middle school or early high school students, I definitely recommend it. It was so incredibly interesting to me. The book selections were amazing. So it is very literature based, which really appeals to me. However, because we've read a lot of the books, I don't want to reread them. We wouldn't necessarily need to reread them. We could just use them as reference to find the answers to the workbook questions. Everything is a digital file. There's the teacher schedule, and then there is the workbook, which has all of the questions that you need to answer to complete the curriculum. But again, if you're looking for that college prep chemistry, you really do need the math component. And so I think that's kind of a struggle with this Guest Hollow High School Chemistry in the Kitchen. It appeals to me because the labs themselves are very practical. Things like making cheese or making bread, or I think one of the first experiments is making marshmallows, and relating that to chemistry. I think that is awesome and would be very good for somebody who doesn't really particularly like science or isn't concerned about continuing on with science in college. It would meet your chemistry requirement, I think, depending on your state. If you need to add the math component, that might be a little bit more challenging. And obviously in my state, we don't have any separate high school graduation requirements, so I really have to rely on what I hear from the colleges as to what counts for particular subjects. Now, I do think that you could make this count for a college prep class. Again, like if you added in the math component from Life of Fred or another chemistry curriculum, that would be helpful. On the website itself, it says this is a practical chemistry course for those of you who have students who hate math, hate science, and are in tears thinking of that scary chemistry textbook they're supposed to choke down. And then it says this is also for students who love science and want to learn some down-to-earth science they will use and enjoy knowing throughout their lives. So I really like the practical side of this kitchen chemistry course. I'm a little leery about not having the math component. I love the math portion of chemistry quite a bit. The labs, I could take them or leave them. When I took chemistry in high school and then in chemistry in college as well. So those are all of the options that I researched to figure out what I'm planning on using this next year, which I will share with you soon. I'm going to have an unboxing soon of a bunch of different resources that I've purchased. I already have a bunch of resources that I purchased last year. That will be coming hopefully sooner rather than later. But I did want to leave a few other options for chemistry if you are still researching or you want some other ideas on places to look. I've had a lot of people recommend the Chemistry 101 series, also Biology 101 that they really, really like. Science Shepherd Fundamentals of Chemistry, which I did actually look a little bit at this. It is a video course with textbook, lab manual, and tests. There is no lab kit sold, but there's a basic supply list, that you could use for the lab component. I took a brief look at that list and it was very basic things. It wasn't chemicals like what you think of when you think of chemistry labs. It was much more household items and things that you could get at Target or the hardware store or whatever. It does say that it's for middle or high school, so it may not be as much of a college prep class as a just get it done class. And I think that's kind of what I've found from the homeschool chemistry options. They are either a full, very heavy college prep science class, or they are super light and it's just to get chemistry on your transcript. And so I wish there was more of a middle of the road option that includes all the math you need, includes some labs, but maybe not super in depth on the chemicals, and has video instruction. I haven't really found that, but yes, so that is another option. Chemistry, the Great Courses, that's a subscription that you can get. Crash Course Chemistry, which is on CuriosityStream, as well as probably YouTube and some other places. And also there are a lot of just great documentaries on chemistry and science in general on CuriosityStream. Another option is Dive Chemistry, which is the same website that does Shorman Math. I know a lot of homeschoolers love Shorman Math. We did try it briefly and it just was not a good fit for us. I thought that the website and the student portal and all of that information was incredibly clunky and very old school computer. It was not very, I didn't think it was very easy to use, and Emma really did not like it. So we're not looking into Dive Chemistry, but I've heard so many people love Shorman Math and the Dive Chemistry. I think they have some other science options as well. Chem Explained is another option, and then Abeka also has a chemistry online class. So those are all of the chemistry options that I've looked at. I have an idea of what we're going to be using next year. Again, I will share that with you when I share some of the resources and unboxing curriculum videos that I have coming up. And then definitely when I make all of my final decisions on curriculum we're using for next year, I do it by grade level and family resources and all of that stuff. So I will share that, but that probably won't be until the end of May because I'm still trying to finish up this year's curriculum. The other option that I did not mention, and I probably should have, was dual enrollment. Now, a lot of states offer dual enrollment classes to high school students for local community colleges or the state colleges. In my state of Maine, we can take dual enrollment classes through the University of Maine or through the community college system for free. We have a lot of options that way. There are some dual enrollment colleges that are all online colleges for like Christian colleges and such. I haven't really looked into those because those you have to pay for, and I'm really focusing on what we can get for free through dual enrollment in our state. So that is another option that you can look into. If you have a student that you think is ready for college level chemistry, you could have them do, an 8-week summer course. You could have them do a 1-semester course with the lab component and get your full chemistry year in that 1 semester if it's an option for you for dual enrollment. So yes, those are all of the options that I've looked at and thought about. I hope that this was helpful for you. I really do. I did spend quite a bit of time trying to go through all of the resources. I know it's not an exhaustive list. I know that it's not exhaustive as to what is included with each curriculum, but I hope that it gives you some places to look for yourself. Maybe you found some things that I've said interesting and you want to pursue them further. So thank you guys again so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm not sure I'd be able to answer all of them for you, but I am going to leave a bunch of links in the description box so that you can look for further information if you want to. Chemistry, such a joyful subject to think about for high school. So we will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.